Hello and welcome to the next video in the series. It's been a while since I made a video and it'll be a while before I make another one. So I'm going to go over a lot of stuff in this video. It may be a little longer than usual. And as always, feel free to ask any questions in the comments. First thing I want to go over is paying attention to the value of milestones. This is something I didn't do early on and it's something I've learned to do, which has helped a lot as I've played the game more. So each milestone has a different amount of rewards for the different tiers. Lower tiers give less and the higher tiers give more. But the thing that's important to pay attention to is, for example, this last tier, I only needed to get 30 more charm to go up to 150. And it gave me 6 charm and 2 of those arena challenge letters. So for only 30 charm, that's what I got. Now I have to spend 50 charm to get to the next tier, which only gives me... Sorry, I have to spend 50 stacks of hay to get to the next tier. So my point is, the other one was 30 for 6 charm and 2 of those, and this one's 50 for 7 and 2 of those. 50 is almost double as much as 30, so basically this is a crappy milestone tier. And that's why I didn't even bother shoot for it. So you want to make sure that the next milestone tier you're going for is actually worthwhile. Usually it's only worth it to go up to a certain point, and then you really should stop. So I chose to stop there. This would have been a decent stopping point as well. But in any case, that's just something to be aware of. You should check the milestone tiers and make sure that you're not going for one that's unrewarding. Not all milestone tiers are as garbagey as others. Like, for example, some of them you can completely max out pretty easily, like the beast damage one I just finished. There's none left. But just be aware that not all milestone tiers are created equal, and it's something you should check before you decide which one you want to shoot for. Another thing that I want to talk about is rushes. I talk about rushes almost every video now, and that's because other than doing well in mini games, which is mostly just doing well in mini games is just remembering to use your stamina basically, and that's about it. There's not really a whole lot to say about them. I mean, I could talk about Conquest for a little bit, I guess, because it's a new game. So Conquest, the funny thing is you're supposed to be doing it with friends, but it actually kind of rewards being anti-team friendly, because it's really good to kill the bandits. And so if you hog all the bandits that your allies find, you're kind of like griefing them while rewarding yourself. Aside from that, I don't really know that there's that much to say. The silver chests are a better value than the gold chests, so when you're buying keys from the little hooded guy, you buy the silver ones. You don't take the fountains unless you really need them. It's better to leave them on the lower floors until you need them, because you can go back at any time to any of the lower floors with no penalty and catch anything you missed. So if you're fighting on a higher floor, you get injured, you can go back and go to a fountain on a lower floor. Another thing you can do is wait on doing the trials until you've gotten to a higher floor if you're not strong enough to do them. Like, for example, I was not strong enough to do this one before, but now that I just went to this next level, it should have gotten easier. Because every time you go up another level, the trials on the previous floors that you haven't done yet get a little bit easier to complete. So I should be able to complete this one now, hopefully, as soon as my guy gets over there. Let's see, 236. No, I still can't do it for some reason. It's a bummer. I'm not sure why. But I'll worry about that later. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Conquest. One last thing I should probably mention before I move on, though, is you want to make sure you're harvesting your comrade points in Conquest, and you're not going to get these unless you're inviting people who are from your Brotherhood group. So that's all I have to say about that for now. Now I'll get back to talking about rushes like I originally was going to. So here's a good example of a rush that I screwed up a little bit. The reason why I screwed it up is because I was in a rush. I logged on like 5 minutes before the rush ended, and I still had a ton of hourglasses left to use. And so I was just spamming them like crazy. I didn't have time to check the rankings to see where I was at. I was aiming for first in the server, and then in cross server, I was trying to get to, hold on a second, I can't remember offhand, but I want to see it. Oh yeah, I was just trying to make it, I was originally trying to make it into 4th or 5th, but I belatedly realized I wouldn't have enough, so then I was trying to stick to 10th. Now, if you'll see, all I needed for 10th was 7 million. I ended up getting a little over 8 million. So basically, I wasted a whole million worth of consort skill experience there. And the reason why that happened, like I said, is because I logged on at the last minute and I was rushing, so I couldn't watch the rankings very closely and determine what was going to happen. But ideally, you don't want to waste resources like that, because the rewards for 6 through 10, they're not any better. Like if you get 6 or you get 10th, it's the same rewards, and I'll show you that real quick. 6 to 10, same rewards. So I could have been 10th place and saved an extra million and still gotten the same rewards. So that would have been a better way of playing that rush, and it's an example of what not to do. And then the charm rush, I'll talk about that a little bit because it's still ongoing. The charm rush is actually going to end while I'm making this video, and I'll show you what I do at the very end of the rush when that comes. So here's charm. Here's the rankings for in the server. Now I'm pretty sure that both Lana and Calvin and probably might not even be on the rankings. Bad Patron. All of those guys probably have enough charm to beat me. There's a chance that Lana and Calvin might allow me to win because I'm in the same horde as them and we're on good terms. And as far as Bad goes, he might get greedy and try to beat me by just a little bit at the last second. And when someone tries to get greedy like that, you can take advantage of that, because at the very last second you use your last bit of reserves. So they try to come in just ahead of you, but at the very last second you also bump yours up so you come in just ahead of them. So it's kind of like a psychology type thing, and that's what we'll be trying to do. Hopefully if anyone does try to snipe me at the last minute, they'll only do it by a little bit and I can counter snipe, like I said, during the last couple of seconds. So right now it's 42 minutes until this rush ends, and I'll be waiting until like the last 7 seconds to spam my remaining resources and try to jump ahead of whoever's jumping me. Hopefully that makes sense. Talk about the arena rush too. So the arena rush is kind of a weird rush. For some of the rushes, like the consort rush, there's actually some benefit to using your resources up front, because you can kind of signal to people, hey, I'm going for this one, so don't try to compete with me. And when other people have accepted that you're in the lead, they oftentimes won't try to contest you until the very end. And like I said, if they try to contest you at the very end, they're susceptible to getting greedy and only going ahead of you by a little bit, and then you can counter snipe them, like I just mentioned earlier. And another thing about getting your charm early in the rush is the more charm you have, the more efficiently your consort skill XP farmer is going to perform. So for example, in this charm rush, I put in a lot of my charm onto her up front. And the reason why I put it onto her up front is because she's my consort skill XP farmer. So I'll show you well, actually I can't show you what I mean by that. But normally I put her and one other consort and then a high pairing all together. And I just keep refreshing that. I always use her on my refreshes because she gives me the most consort skill XP, and therefore putting all my charm into her up front makes my farming more efficient in the consort skill XP. When the consort skill XP rush isn't running, I don't even bother configuring them. I just auto start it. I don't worry about it. But I micromanage this much more when the rush is ongoing. I guess I'll use a speed up just to show you. So that's fine. So if the rush were going, what I would do is I would press random. So these are the highest I have available. It'll put in the highest you have available with random. And then you want to put in your farmer instead of the secondary. So she's getting a little more, so this one's my secondary. So I take that out, I throw in my farmer. And then I check and see if there's anybody in my brotherhood. There is. So instead of using that one, I should use this one because it'll give me 2% more, so I put that in. Start it. And then I would speed that up, and then I would do it all over again. So, for example, we'll speed it up. I'm just showing you the process of farming. Random. Okay, this is a good pairing because these are my good ones. And then all I have to do is swap out that for plus 1.1, plus 10%. That's my sworn brother. So this is an ideal farming pairing. So that's kind of how you farm if you were in the consort skill XP rush, and that's why it's beneficial to dump all your charm into your farmer up front, because then they'll be giving you more, and it'll make your farming more efficient. But to get back to what I was saying earlier, Although in the Charm Rush and the Intimacy Rush, there's some benefit for using your resources up front. In the Arena Rush, there is really no benefit to using your resources up front because the higher up you go in the rankings early on, the more times you get targeted by strong people, and it ends up being inefficient. So what you do when you're competing in the Arena Rush is every day, towards the end of the day, always towards the end of the day, because if you do it at the start of the day, you get targeted more, like I mentioned. Every day towards the end of the day, you just attack people until all of your Warpath Surge stacks are used up, because they double your points that you get from using challenge ladders. Once these are completely used up, you stop for the day, and you always do that at the end of the day. And then in the very last day of the Arena Rush, that's when you start really playing the rush. And what you do is you go to your rival list, you just find somebody who's really weak compared to you in terms of SOV, and then you revenge them over and over and over. You're just going to your rival list, revenging whoever's lowest in SOV. And every time you revenge somebody, it's going to refresh your targeting. So you can also check your targeting, see if they're weaker than you. If they're weaker than you, you'll attack here. So this guy, he's stronger than me, so I would not attack him. I would go to my rival list. I would attack the lowest SOV person here. Then I would check my targeting again. If it's weaker than me, I'll hit here. If it's not weaker than me, I go back to my rival list, and I hit whoever's weakest on my rival list. That's how you farm at the end, and you want to be using up like 100 or so challenge letters right at the very end in a mad frenzy of hitting people on your rival list. Like, the idea is to farm the weakest people you can and generate as many points as you can right at the very end. And that's how you win Arena Rush. Well, maybe not win it, but that's how you place as highly as you can with your resources. And then I'll talk about the Silver and the SOV Rush a bit. I'm going to go for a little bit of a time skip here. Now we're in a SOV and Silver Rush a little later. And I was originally going to wait until I had Ken unlocked before I made this video, but for whatever reason, the developers of the game decided to delay the lowland minigame in the cycle, so I wasn't able to unlock Ken nearly as soon as I expected. I almost have him, I just need one more lowland, and they delayed it. So I'm still missing the last 12 tokens. So I'm not going to be able to win this SOV Rush because I don't have Ken. And without Ken, I don't have any advisors to level up, which is going to limit how much SOV I can gain this rush. But I do have a couple of things to say anyway, and I decided to go ahead and make this video because I have enough content for a video. So the first thing is about the SOV Rush. I've got Hootlin to her 5th star, and now that she has her 5th star, I've unlocked the red talent. And the red talents, the ones that are red like that, are the only ones that you want to spend the medallions on. These things, because they give a 100% success rate, and the red talents have the lowest chance to succeed. So therefore, you use all your talent medallions on these. So I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of those. All her other talents are maxed, and I'm curious how close I can come to winning this SOV Rush if I use all my talent. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I just don't think it's worth it to hold on to it, so I'm going to use it. Okay, I skipped past a bunch of that because I didn't think you guys wanted to see all that clicking, and now I'm going to use up this too as well. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to check and see where that put me. Oh, I'm in first place now. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can win the SOV Rush. I might not have even needed Ken. Alright, well that's good news. And then as far as the Silver Rush goes, I don't really have anything I can spend my silver on. So, because I don't have any advisors that I need to upgrade right now. However, there is one thing you can do when you have no way of upgrading advisors and you still want to spend silver, and that's manual travel. Manual travel is pretty tedious, but if you do enough manual travel, you can actually use up a fair bit of silver. So you take off travel all, uncheck that, and what you're looking for is the gambling game that allows you to bet silver. And then you're going to hope that you lose the bet. It's kind of tedious because you have to get through all these other things and hope to actually find the gambling game. Surprise gift, that's not what I want. I want the gambling game because I want to lose my silver. Nope, it's awfully hard to get it when you want to get it. I don't care about flowers for beauty. Come on. Well, actually, giving it to Corinna is not too bad. She's my main consort. Come on, give me the gambling game. It really doesn't want to give it to me. This is really not worth doing if you're short on time, because it takes a lot of grinding to find the gambling game. Come play a game. Silver. Here we go. So if we're lucky, we'll lose the bet, because that will waste some of our silver and it'll make us place in the rush. So let's hope we lose. I'm probably not going to lose. I won the bet, so that's not going to help me at all in the rush. If I were able to lose the bet, then it would help me in the rush, but it doesn't look like that's not my lucky day. I could have had about 600 million silver into the rush there if I'd lost that bet, but no such luck. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea, so I won't make you put up with watching me spam that. I guess one other thing I want to mention is sometimes it's fun to have goals other than getting stronger. Like, for example, just competing against other people. Like here, I'm competing against this one other guy in my server who's just a little bit stronger than me right now. He's at 440, I'm at 439. So I just need a little more to pass him, and I passed him during the start of the Sob Rush once already, and then he used his points to get ahead of me again. So I'm just kind of like teasing him by going back and forth and passing him. I'm pretty sure once I finally unlock Ken that I'm going to pass him for good. But until I finally unlock Ken, it's like a back and forth between the two of us. So let's see. I need to get some more talent to pass him, because talent is what's going to give me the most sub. Oh, I can merge these. That might be giving me enough. So I'll merge these. And then maybe that'll be enough. Hopefully that was enough. Am I rank 1 now? Yes, I'm rank 1. So that's just kind of like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he can pass me again this rush because he probably still has more saved. But it's just kind of a fun thing to do where you keep fighting for the top spot. And hopefully once I unlock Ken, the top spot will be mine for good, but that'll have to wait for another video. Okay, it is now 9:55 Eastern Time. That means this charm rush is coming to an end in very shortly. And you just saw that little notification that my sworn brother logged on, probably to go ahead and snipe me. So everyone's going to be watching this timer, and when it gets really low, we're going to all start jostling for the top. So like I mentioned before, Lana might try to snipe me, Calvin might try to snipe me, Bad Patron might try to snipe me. And my job is just to wait until there's about 5 seconds left on this timer, and then use the rest of what I've got. So what do I have left? Not a whole lot, really. I've got 2 of these, which will get me about 2 of them. I've got about 25 consorts, so 2 of these is about 50 charm. I've got another 10 here, and about another 20 here. So 10, 20. So that's 80 charm, and then I've got another 7 here, and a little more here. I'm actually going to use this one up now, because I have to be in a different screen to use this one. And you don't want to switch screens when you've only got 7 seconds left. It's not going to work, so. Whoop, wrong screen, sorry. I didn't mean to go there. I'm trying to go to my harem. So we'll use this up now. And then we'll go back and check how we're doing. Wana isn't creeping up to me yet, so she might not be getting ready to steal. Usually if someone was going to steal, the first thing they would do is they would creep up until they're like within maybe 200 points of you. Actually, she is within 200 points of me already, what am I saying? So maybe she's just going to sit there until her steal. She might have enough in her bank right now to get 300, so that would put her at 1.7. So maybe that is where she's going to sit until she tries to steal at the last minute. If so, I'm probably fine, because I'll be gaining like 100 myself, and I doubt she's calculated that I'm going to gain that much, so I don't think she'll snipe me by enough. But that's not the only person who might try to snipe me. There's more than one person who might try to snipe me. It's really just a waiting game. There's not a whole lot to say or do. You just don't want to get distracted and focus on anything else, because if you do, you'll miss your chance. I've got about 1 minute left now. When it gets down to like 10 seconds, by the way, I've got my phone up down here, and I'm logged on with my Smurf. So I can also watch the timer on my phone. That way I don't have to stare on the screen. I've got it up on my phone. I'm at exactly 1 minute left now. I'm keeping half an eye on it on my phone. And so what I'm going to do is, when I've got about it's going to take about, I think it'll take me about 8 seconds. Because I'm going to have to use this one, and then I'm going to have to switch to this one, and use that one, and switch to this one, and use that one, and switch to that one, and use that one. So it's going to take me 7 or 8 seconds to use all of these, I think. I want to use this one, this one, this one, this one, all right at the end. It's at 25 seconds now. I think I'm going to go when it's at 8 seconds. So 19, 18, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, it's time to go. Use that one. Use that one. Oh shoot, I don't have time. So I should have tried it like 10 seconds. I didn't get a chance to use all of them. That was fine. Nobody sniped me. So I did okay there. But I'm not sure about the cross server. I was trying to hit 20th in cross server. Cross server. I did not make it to 20th. I'm in 24th. That's not good. Let me see. In order to make it to 20th, I would have needed 767. I don't think I had enough to make it to 20th anyway, so it's fine. Even if I had used those other two, I don't think I would have quite made it. I think I would have been like just under. So that was fine. I would have been kicking myself if I was close to 20th, but since I wasn't, it's fine. And that's it. That's how it goes. I hope that made sense. So I'm going to talk about the stores for a bit now. The stores have changed a little since I first started playing, and also my priorities and what to buy have changed a little since I started playing. So even though I went over all the stores before in an earlier video, it's worthwhile for me to go over the stores again. So I'll start on this side. And, so here's the Horde store. Everybody's probably familiar with it by now. And the contribution store, which is this first tab. Early on, I was recommending that people buy these, and I think that's still a good idea if you don't have an advisor at level 400 yet. You want to get at least your main advisor to level 400 as soon as possible, and until you do that, these are the best things you can buy, because you need at least your strongest advisor at level 400 as soon as possible. After you get your first advisor to level 400, I think these are actually not a good use of resources anymore, because you're going to gradually accumulate them during rushes, and you don't really need to have another advisor to level 400 until your first one's maxed out on talent. So what you do want to buy instead are always the talent experience packs. These are an excellent value, and at some point you need to start stocking up on these too. And the reason why is because eventually your strongest advisor is going to max out on talent, and then one of the few ways you can make them stronger is by assigning a better pet to them, and that involves buying these. So your first priority until you get an advisor level 400 is these. After that, you'll be focusing mostly on buying these, and at some point later on, you're going to have to start stocking up on these as well, the pet skills certificates. So in the Horde Battle Store, it's pretty straightforward. You just buy the talent experience packs, and you buy the challenge letters. And if your strongest advisor is a wolf, you can maybe consider buying some of these, but in my opinion, they're overpriced in the store, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Mostly you just want to focus on the challenge letters and the talent experience packs. and this store costs money, so just don't buy things here. There's much better values for your money. Speaking of better values, for an example, this would be an example of a better value. The Wolves of War Fund is a pretty good value, and the Queen's Fund is even better value. The Queen's Fund is actually one of the best values in the game. You can unlock queens for pretty cheap there, where normally they'd be really expensive. So the next store I'm going to talk about is, I guess, the Proving Ground store. And by Proving Ground store, I mean this section right here. So these are actually a decent value. If you're trying to build a wolf, it's okay to get these here. You always want to get this because they have the discounted price. And these are just generally the only thing left to buy. I'm not really focusing on building a wolf that much, so I just buy these. But if my strongest advisor were a wolf, I would definitely buy these for sure. And then the next thing to discuss, I guess, is the hunting store. So every day you buy the summon seal. This is the absolute best item in here, and you always want to buy it. I usually buy 3 of the stamina pills, but if you don't earn as many beast points as me, you can just buy 1 or 2 of these instead. And I usually buy about 4 of each of these. If you have more or less points than me, you can edit that a little, buy a little more or a little less of them. And I usually get 1 of those, just because I'm starting to build up an excess of points, and I think these are they're a reasonable value. They're not really a good value, but with everything else bought up, they're still okay. The next store that I'll talk about is the feast store. Ooh, I kind of want to get in that feast, but it's not worth kicking somebody out. So in the feast store, I used to buy these when they're discounted, but now the only ones that I bother to get are the armor scrolls when they're on a 40% discount. And that's because I'm still not quite able to win the meat rush on the server, so getting the extra armor for the survival increases my meat income, and so that's worthwhile to me. But the other scrolls, talent is just such a better value that it's not really a good idea to buy scrolls, even if they're at a 40% discount. So the only ones I buy are the armor ones, and I only buy them if they're at 40% discount. Hourglasses are great, vigor pills are great, because they help you win rushes. So you get this. Get this. Talent is always amazing. You want to get talent whenever you can. Hourglass good. That's good. This is good. The rest of this is basically a waste of money. This is great because it gives talent. Great because it gives talent. Good because it helps you win a rush. And the rest of that's garbage. So that's kind of how you anything that helps you win the rush or anything that gives you talent, that's what you want. The rest of it is just a waste of money. Not money, it's a waste of feast store points, whatever. You don't have to spend real money there. And then the last store that I still need to discuss is this one. So from the time limited store, what I get is usually, if it's a mini game that I really like, I'll get the 288 diamond pack, which is not the best value ever. But if you have an excess of diamonds, it's an okay value. So I'll usually get this one if I have an excess of diamonds. And then I get this one too. The reason why I get this is because I'm trying to get my Brotherhood level up to level 7, because that's going to unlock something in the Friendship store. It's going to unlock these. So I'm trying to get my Brotherhood to that level because these are an excellent value for me. I'm building a queen, so I need to get these queen shards. So that's the reason why I am focusing on getting that level up. Everything in here is a complete and utter waste of diamonds. You're basically ripping yourself off if you buy anything from this center store here. Just, it's trash, complete trash. And then I don't think most people watching this are going to be spending much real money, but if you are inclined to spend some real money, the value that I currently like to get is this one. It's only $1 and it increases that friend rating faster. Like I said, I'm trying to get that Brotherhood level up, and getting the Brotherhood level up also helps you farm more in Feast Rush and some of the other rushes. So I think it's a good long-term investment if you're planning on playing this game with your Brotherhood buddy for a long time, and it's worthwhile. Okay, so that covers all the stores. I guess I'll talk about pets for a bit. So the area where you farm pets is the outskirts. I recommend getting each of your outskirts levels up to 7 before you do anything else. The reason why you want to get them up to 7 is because after they're all 7, it's going to unlock the next stage. Every time you unlock another stage, your missions get better for your heirs. So basically getting every level to level 7 is going to cause my heir trials to be better every day, which is going to basically make me passively farm more resources. So that's an important goal. The reason why I chose level 7 is because around there is when it starts getting kind of ridiculous. You have to get 1,000 stamina points to go to the next level, and to me that's going to take too long. It would take 4,000 points to get each of these up to level 8, and that's just too much, I think. So after they're all level 7, I'm going to focus on farming the mountain, and that's what you should do too. You should farm either the mountain or the flatland, one of those two, after you get everything to level 7. The reason why I picked mountain or flatland is because those are the ones that have the leopard and the pig. And the leopard and the pig are good pets to main, but you're going to main the 2 pets that come from whatever area you're focusing. So for me, it's the leopard and the ferret because they come from mountain. The reason why the leopard and the pig are good is just because their totem is a little better than the other totems. I'll show you what I mean. So this totem here, why isn't it showing me? Okay, here it is. So that's what that's the effect this totem has. It increases the strength attribute for all fighter class advisors. And I've covered in other videos that fighters are kind of a little better than the other classes of advisors. And it's just the same reasoning for the pig. It increases the strength of the fighters. So you want to be focusing either... Anyway, I think you get the point. So these 2 are the ones I'm focusing because they come from mountain. I'm putting all of my food into them, I'm putting everything into them, and they're going to get really strong. I'm also using the pet skill certificates to level up their primary stats here. And this isn't going to have a huge impact early on, but because you're focusing all of your talent and all of your resources into just a couple advisors, having another way you can amplify all of that by assigning a pet to them as well that's really strong is just another way to cause your overall efficiency to go up. In terms of what pet is worth building for the long run, I just have to let you know that if they don't have 40 or more intelligence, they're not really a good catch. It's not really that hard to get around 40 because, as you can see, I've caught a lot of pets and almost all of them are at least close to 40, if not higher. And the reason why intelligence on your pet matters so much is because that influences how much vitality or how much stats essentially they get per each level up. So if you have a low intelligence pet, you can pour a ton of food into it and it's just going to be a waste because they're not going to level up nearly as much as a higher intelligence pet would. So don't plan to build a pet for the long run unless it has at least somewhere around 40 intelligence. Otherwise, it's just not a keeper. Alright, I guess I'll talk about advisors for a little bit as well. So recently a new advisor class was added to the game. It's called the War Maidens. So far there's only one of them released. War Maidens are going to be the best orange advisors in the game. So the reason for that is because they will have the presence tokens like the queens, but then they will also have a consort bonus on top of that. So to give you a comparison, Uroko, for example, this dude, however you pronounce that, all he has is just a consort, that's it. He's an orange advisor, he has a consort, that's it. And then to compare him with her, she has a consort, and then she has affinity, and then not affinity, I meant presence. She's got this one and this one. So basically she's like Urako, except then she's got similar bonuses to the queens on top of that. And there's really no other orange advisor in the game currently that has both like this. The War Maidens are the first, and that means when War Maiden is fully built, it is going to be the strongest orange advisor, bar none, currently in the game. Obviously, they might add a better orange class later. So, because of that, I realized eventually I'm probably going to end up building a War Maiden, and so she's going to be one of my top 3, and for that reason, I kind of changed my plan, because originally I was thinking, okay, I'm going to focus Hootlon first, because she's my strongest, and then after that I'll rotate into Kuba, and then after that Kenarok, because I want to have a strong top 3 for Horde Battle, because you can only fit 3 of your strongest in one Horde Battle squad. But the thing is, eventually, the War Maiden is going to outscale Kuba, and so I realized I probably don't want to invest talent in Kuba if he's not going to end up as one of my top 3 in the long run. And the War Maiden isn't going to be unlocked for at least a couple months after I unlock Ken, so it would make more sense to go Hootlan, and then Ken, and then just keep building Ken until I unlock the War Maiden, and just leave Kuba as he is. So it kind of changed my plan a little. Initially, I was planning Kuba being my 3rd place guy, but now he's just going to be my 4th place guy, and I don't think 4th place is worth wasting talent on, so it did change my plan. I guess there's one more thing I'll mention. So some people might be under the impression that once you unlock a red advisor, like Ken, for example. That's not Ken, sorry. Once you unlock a red class advisor like Ken, that you'll want to focus on building him immediately, and that's not true. So the thing is, a red advisor is going to take so many summon seals to increase their star level that it will probably actually be a while before the growth rate on your red advisor is better than an orange. If you've got an orange, it's already at 4 stars or 5 stars. So even after I unlock Ken, I'm going to keep focusing on Hootlan because her growth rate is going to be better for quite a while. As a matter of fact, even after I finish Hootlan, Kuba's growth rate will probably still be better than Ken's for a while until Ken eventually gets more stars. But as I mentioned earlier, Kuba is not going to end up being one of my strongest 3 in the long run, so I will probably skip over him and build Ken after Hootlan's done. Hopefully that makes sense. That's really all I got for this video. I've talked about a lot here, so if you've got any questions or comments, just let me know in the comments, or you can message me in-game.